Hi, hey, hello, and happy Monday. How is everybody doing? I am Kirsten. This is Tristan, and we are Haseya.
And we're doing what we love today, aren't we? We're having conversations about things that we love and deeply love to explore for a better understanding of, how we're doing, how we're creating, and how we're experiencing life. So, hello, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Yes, Monday Conscious Conversation. This is everything we do is a passion project. I'm sure you hear us say that a lot, but how this has grown and how this has evolved has just been so beautiful to be a part of and then also to witness. If you haven't dove deep into some of our old calls, I mean, there's infinite. We've been doing this now for over 2 years in this space and in this way. So today we've got a juicy one for you that we're ready to dive in. As always, you guys can help guide the conversation and help support it through the Google form. Put in there what you want help with, what you need support with, what you're battling right now, or maybe what you're questioning, or maybe what you just want a deeper understanding around. We're not here to say that we have all the answers, but we are here to talk about it.
Yes. Yes. Because if you don't dare to question, if you don't dare to think, to seek, to understand from a different standpoint and see all the viewpoints, like we really don't get anywhere. Because if we always know everything and we're always the smartest person in the room, we're never learning. And so that's just kind of, we're not the smartest people in the room. We're not the gurus here. What we do is we deeply drop in and we allow for that inspiration to come way beyond us and to have these conversations and see what comes up and how, prayer these deep prayers are answered, and all of these different ways that we explore this truth that's beyond, the daily things that we see, the daily information, the daily traffic.
Yes, which is so infinite. I'm laughing because, oh my God, if you allow, like we are flooded. We are flooded, and it's not even necessarily within the devices, and the phones and the TVs. It's the work environments, it's the family conversations, it's the dynamics, and then what we've got going on between our ears. And we really, want to talk to you guys today about that continuous battle that we don't really get to win when we are constantly in seeking of, fixing or changing or overcoming, and basically how we're going to transition from that empty pit of seeking, of needing more, and getting to the space of feeling one and connected with the self and what all can be possible there.
Ah, oh my gosh. Yes. And this is across the board as we talk about like everything we talk about. Just go ahead and expand it to every area of your life. The I'll be happy when, um, I'll truly be wealthy um, when this happens, when I have this relationship, when I have this job, when I'm making this much money. Isn't that a joke? When I'm making this much money, then I'll be at peace, then I'll be happy. This is across the board. And so where we want to also address this today is it's that need for constant work, that need to be constantly doing the trauma work, constantly be reveling in the counseling of we need to be better. We need to become somebody different constantly, 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 and never reaching it because we're constantly putting it out to this future place of when I feel this or when I experience this, then I'll have made it. Then I will have been enlightened. And, then I won't ever experience being triggered again or have any emotional feelings, other than happiness and bliss. And my relationships will be absolutely perfect. And I will have so much money in my bank account. And like, that's when I'll be done working on myself. Yes, and how do we experience that now? Like, what is the truth here, Kirsten, of the constant needing to work and beat the dead horse and like constantly be in trauma work and processing.
Well, Tristan, I'm confused. I mean, isn't what you guys do the work?
Yeah.
You're telling me that I'm not supposed to do it all the time. You're really bad at sales.
Mm, yes, we are. Yes, we are. Because we don't, we're not creating the environment for you to need us for the rest of your life. We are not codependent here. We don't need you to need us for the rest of your life because we would be harming you. We would be enabling you. We would say, yes, you need us for the rest of your life so we can take your money. Yeah, we're bad at sales. Because we're truly here to change your life, not have you addicted to us and needing us every day for the rest of your life. That would be doing nothing for you. Nothing for you. And I think a lot of we've had a lot of clients that have moved from traditional services and traditional therapies, thank you. For decades, decades, and being called to work with us and explore something different, and then finally experiencing something different. And that comes with that being able and that vulnerability and that decision to actually go deeper than that surface level of just talking about things and revisiting things and revisiting things and revisiting things and just keeping things wide open, re-experiencing it constantly so that that's really what you're just continuing to experience every day. You're not ever actually getting over it because you're just kind of moving the trash from one trash can to the other instead of taking the trash out or lighting it on fire. Um, and I think that comes right. We've talked about this earlier as daring to go deep enough to resolve the original traumas, generational traumas, to get to a place of not victimhood, not being stuck in cycles, but being to a place of being able to live in the right now and create right now and understand how we relate to things in life.
Percent, and we're never in controversy or contradiction with other types of modalities or therapy. We simply speak to you from a space of what we know to work, um, what we've moved through in our own lives, and then what we've witnessed countless times over and over with our clients. So just hear our hearts on that. And what we're really speaking to is that radical declaration within yourself when you're like, I can't talk about this shit anymore. Like, I can't continue to play this over and over and over again. Like, action needs to happen. Like Tristan said, I'm going to take the trash out. And so, for some of you that are our clients, I'm sure you're giggling because you're like, you made me revisit some stuff.
Yep.
And you're gonna, but it's not the same. It's different. The processes that we use, the E4 trauma method, for example, is designed to have you revisit an experience as if it's happening right now to fully emote, experience all the emotions. But here's the kicker: without story, without meaning, without justification, to uncover what it is that you made that experience, that situation mean about yourself, mean about what it means to have a partner, mean about what life is, what you're here for or what you're not here for. And it's not, it's something that you can look at logically and you can say, oh, yeah, at this point in my life, I decided like men suck. Okay. It's so much deeper than that. The things that come out of your mouth when you allow yourself to be in this transcendent state, that you don't even know. It's the stuff we talk about within the subconscious reprogramming, the stuff that's deep down that you're operating from that cyclical place. So we will 100% advocate this process over and over and over again as something that we feel that everybody needs in their life so that they can get to this point where we're not in that same habitual cycle of like, I'm a victim. All of life is happening to me. What, like, why is this going on? Um, what's like a really tangible example? Um, we desire to have love so deeply. We want a partner to share life with, to have these experiences with. But time and time again, we find ourselves in a relationship where they don't understand us, or they mistreat us, or they cheat on us. Whatever your story is, whatever your experience is, when we release these ties, these energetic footprints from our body, from our soul, from our mind, whatever we want to call it, from our psychology, we no longer put ourselves in these environments and these dynamics. We no longer call forth these types of people that are prepared to mirror back to us with perfection who it is that we used to so boldly claim that we were being, and move into who it is that we actually want to, and intentionally.
It's beautiful once you've really deeply unhinged and let go of some of these things. And you guys, she's not joking about it's so deep you can't recognize it outside of. I'm not saying you. It's just we take you into such a deep state that it's so deep within your subconscious mind that you don't realize that that's what you believe about life. It's how you related to life in that moment of high emotional distress. And then you accepted it so deeply that even if you're like, oh, like my traumas made me a better person, or I overcame them, like that's not, like you're like, they don't mess with me. There's a piece in there if you're still experiencing these feelings, this cyclical, like constant, everywhere you look, you end up feeling that same way again. And it's making that connection and then revealing it and uplifting it from, that engram upon the DNA, that constriction of how we're expressing, because we're on such autopilot for so long. And this process and the processes that we use and the way in which that we um, create this space for such a deep revelation, such a deep space for that nervous system to recover and bring into the right now this positive outlook, this positive shift. Um, you actually start feeling that freedom to create. You get off autopilot that to the creator of your experience in your life, of being able to do the things that align with you and understanding every day how you can feel really really awesome and zenned out, like with your morning practice, and then you're driving to work and someone flips you off or cuts you off, and instead of completely spiraling and ruining your whole day, you're so present with everything. You're so present with everything that you just get to feel these emotions that are raw, without story, without so much backing them, and being able to be like, well, this is now how I'm going to move forward, being able to consciously use emotion. Gosh, you guys, emotion is so beautiful. We create with emotion. We create with emotion. So being able to be in the present and not allow emotion to run us, because we have all these autopilots going on in the background and these belief systems about ourselves of this unresolved trauma, these unresolved things. It's using us as its slave because we're so powerful. We're in our own creation. To moving to this point of, God, it's good to have some emotions I can use. I declare this, like, I'm going to have this kind of day. I'm going to, I get to pick who I'm surrounded by because that doesn't feel good. I'm going to pick how, I'm treated because that doesn't feel good, or whatever it is. Like, you get to use emotion to create something so powerful rather than your emotions using you, because they are so beautiful.
There's a really interesting point to this, and we talked about it before we got on this call. But what E4 really allows for is the embodiment of the self.
Yeah.
And so, an example that Tristan just gave, you sit in your morning practice and you feel something, more than just the individual self. You tap into this collective connectivity that is humanity, that is, church. I mean, whatever you want to call it. Like when you experience that, like, okay, I'm alive, like I'm freaking alive, and I'm about to go through my day, and then something happens. Maybe you stay in that zone, that you're just like, oh, wow, that person was really bold today. Continue on. Or you're like, F off, like you clap back, you have that response. Um, what E4 allows for is for you to have a space of awareness with neutrality rather than weaponizing yourself as insufficient, unworthy, not enough. So you come to the end of the day and you're in reflection and we're saying, man, like, what happened?
Yeah.
Why did I lose my cool on that person? Like, what was that about? Oh, okay. Yeah, it made me feel this type of way, or this came up, or God, I need to honor that emotion that's in my body because this is what my life purpose statement is. This is what I'm committed to creating every single day. Not that. It's like this succinct amends of like, wow, like that's not what I'm about. But you know what I am about? I'm about this. And then we go to sleep. We let it go and we start another day. But without the E4, without the eradication of the stuff, then we're sitting there at the end of the day and it's like, God, that person was so terrible. Like, why do they go around acting that way and treating people that way? Like, yeah, I shouldn't have cussed, but like, damn, why are you treating people like that? Then we create this whole story now about other people and then ourselves in it. And you see how, yeah, something happened to us. Probably shouldn't have happened, but we're in this victim again. Somehow we found ourselves there versus being in the space of like, that had nothing to do with me. What that did had to do with me was I lost my cool, or I didn't lose my cool. I was completely neutral. I'm gonna send love to that person, but I'm also gonna send that love, back to myself. I've been there. I've been that person, like how can we redirect the mind? But for me, I'll say that was not possible until I did this work. I wasn't able to be in a space of neutral awareness of the self to completely release and then move forward. I was in complete objectification of the self and complete judgment and continuing this process like we're talking about today, where it's a battle that we'll never overcome because we're trying to be better, we're trying to be more instead of being in this space of just fully accepting all that I am right here, right now.
Yeah. Mm. We don't have to stay, and we're not selling you to stay in self work. We do not have to spend eternity in self work if we dare to go a little bit deeper, if we dare to go to the depths of actually eradicating it. Because we do a whole lot of surface level stuff and we don't realize how much we're creating from that space and just staying there and staying there and staying there and wanting more and needing to be better and wanting to be better selves and never being enough, and we do that to ourselves because of how we're feeling. And what we're saying is you do not have to spend your whole existence in self deep reveling work. Not saying there won't be times where you are like new layer, like, hey, I'm like new layer, or something comes up and you address it because you have the skills to address it. But there's a point in time where we get to learn so much from our past and take all of these really deep things and neutralize them and learn and be able to learn so much about ourselves of what we actually want. And then we're able to generationally heal so much. And then there's a point of being able to know who we are, what we want, what aligns with us, and create our future and who we are. And then daily embodiment of the choice of what our life purpose here is here. who we are committed to being every day and having a practice big enough to handle today's traffic, the things that are going on. If we're complaining, if we're finding ourselves, in a shit attitude, when we've gone through this work, we know better, we know better, we know how to shift our mind, we know how to do this stuff, we have the tools. It's all about the responsibility of the embodiment, putting the rubber to the road, using our tools to be able to live in that beautiful space of freedom, to create from this space and use our tools and be able to have something to look forward to because we can, not because we're not enough and we need to keep working and we need to, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy then. It's all living in the now and creating because that's an alignment, creating because we're able to give, we're able to tithe, we're able to create, we're able to experience all these beautiful things. I don't know if that makes any sense, what just came out of my mouth, but that's what I'm feeling. Okay.
Oh my God, that happens so much.
Oh,
Oh no, that was perfect and very well said. And just we just want to leave you guys with, what is your version of taking out the trash today? What is your version of I'm done with this cycle. I'm done with this space. And I'm ready to go deeper. What is that for you? And what is your call to action?
mm,
Like, are you ready to put yourself in an immersive container here? Great. You have access to do that instantly right here on your own. Click the link, get registered. We'll see you there. You have additional questions, you have support. Great. Reach out to us. We'll have a conversation. If this is not the space for you, we will not allow you to be here. Are connected to so many other coaches and practitioners and different offerings and spaces. If we feel that that's, hey, this isn't where you're at. This is more what we need. That's also available to you. And if hey, I just need to get some clarity in my mind. I can't even answer most of the questions that came up today. How would I even know how to direct, my mind to something different or to something bigger to get to a space where I want to say, hey, let me do some work. We also have a standalone course that you guys can start on your own at your own time to start moving some of this stuff off the chest, out of the mind, out of that DNA.
we have a workshop that is super cheap. That's like a glimpse of even the program. And then we have the program, which is right now under $100, that is 12 weeks of such beautiful exploration that all of our one-on-one group crown jewel, any of our clients have to do this program along with their work so they understand why they're doing it and how to have you have to have the education piece with the processing piece with the nervous system regulation in the community to completely collapse timelines of how long this work actually has to happen. Okay. So there's so much access to information, education. What are we even talking about? I need the science behind this. I need the religious teachings behind this. We have studied it all. We come from a place of education. We come from a place of experience. We come from a place of transformation ourselves. And that's what we turn around and offer and serve. We show up free here every Tuesday. Get your questions answered. We have the workshop to I just want to know a little bit more. We have a full 12-week course for under $100 right now. That is the framework and the education that all of our clients go through. It's all here for you. And it's so awesome. I'm so excited. Um, and then when you're ready, we're so accessible for you to reach out and ask questions and say, I'm only 1 week in, but like, let's go. But our question for you today is, are you ready for something different? Are you ready to see results? Are you ready? Then get in our DMs, get in our email, get in our workshop, get in our digital course, and start exploring that for yourself. You're the only one that can change your life.
Mhm.
We love you so much.
I love you.